Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're discussing something extremely interesting. How did I find out I was pregnant again? Because as some of you know, I wasn't, we weren't expecting to get pregnant this soon, right? Again, I've shared my PCOS story. So having delayed period, because a lot of people were like, didn't you miss your period? How come that wasn't a sign for you? Having a period cycle of 40 days, 50 days, it's almost like normal, but God forbid, it's no more normal to me. But it almost felt like so it wasn't out of the normal for me. So it wasn't a reason to panic. And again, I just had a baby. When you have a baby, you know your period is only on your own. Last year was about 9 months, right? And I know I again, period was not it for me. I just noticed that I was having consistent cramps, and those cramps felt familiar because again, the way when I knew I was pregnant with Nasia was I was having cramps. So those cramps just kept coming and going, kept coming and going, kept coming and going. In my head, I was like, maybe my period's about to come. So I would always put pads in my bag when I'm going to the office. I have pads handy when I'm at home just in case my period comes. Week one, period doesn't show up. Again, I do not read much to it. Week two, period doesn't show up. And I kept having these cramps. And I said to my husband, it's time for maybe we should just go to the hospital to check about this cramps. I'm not sure what it is. But then, when you're trusting God for the fruit of the womb, you will always have a lot of pregnancy, what's it called, test kits, right? So I had a lot of pregnancy test kits. And I think at that time, we just had one left. So the night before, I just told my husband, before we go to the hospital this next day, let me just do pregnancy test and rule out the fact that I'm not pregnant. 'Cause I don't think I am. So when I'm now speaking to them about the cramps, it makes more sense. They know what angle they're coming from. Guys, I'd already planned that whenever I'm going to do a pregnancy reveal again, because I don't do that first time for my husband. I'll be dramatic, right? I already planned that I was gonna set up my camera, film it, da 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 da. But because this was actually the last thing on my mind, I woke up that morning, went to the restroom, and you pee and you put the stick. And bro, it didn't even take up to 2 seconds. When I say two, like it didn't take up to 2 seconds. The second line just came out and it was very prominent. I was like, I was shaking. My husband rushed into the bathroom. What's going on? I just say, it's father, take your stick. I could remember the shock on his face and the shock on mine. They're like, because the truth is I wanted to do like contraceptive, this implant, right? During after we had Nasia. But thank God for my gynae. She was like, you have history of this, so just calm down. At least have like 2 babies before you decide to go on with that. I was like, that's what you thought I reached. I'm like, bro, I can't explain this. We're just looking at ourselves. We're just looking at our like I legit did not know how to feel. I was just thinking, I literally have a 9 months old. Where do I start from? What do I do? I was just like, I was confused. It was like, okay, no panic, let's go to the hospital first and do a blood test. Then when we do a blood test, then maybe we will now be very, very sure. Guys, we go to the hospital, we do a blood test, confirmed, you are pregnant. Oh, and it reminds me because, again, my mom and I, we have quite similar. We look exactly alike, but the fact that my mom had my younger sister in June and had my younger brother in November. So it sort of made sense. I'm like, oh, I've had Nasia now. Is that the cycle that is about to play? So immediately I called her, I said, Mommy, what happened to you has happened to me. She started laughing. She was like, it's normal. Okay, no, if I called my mom, I went to my sister's room. I was like, she was just looking like me, like, but she was happy. And again, I understand why everyone I told was happy for me because of that previous delay, it felt like God wanted to just do everything together and say, oh, my children, for your shame, take them. Something of that nature, right? So my sister was excited. She was like, thank God, it's best that it won't happen and happens like this. called my mom was excited. It's best to happen and happen like this. But my mother-in-law, my family, everybody, I think their excitement made me excited. And I think what crowned it for me was that I was really skeptical. Not that I was scared of going back to work or shy, because like by God's grace, pregnancy, I don't see pregnancy as sickness, so it doesn't affect my job. But the stigma around you just had a baby, you just got back from mat leave, and you're not pregnant again. So there was that thought in my head. But as soon as I told my boss, he was more excited for me than I am. And he kept saying, Miracle, you need to live in gratitude now. All you need to do is praise God. All you need to do is praise God. So I felt like everybody that surrounded me made me see the need to praise God. Then I now had to beat myself up. Even at some point, my husband was like, "This is something to be grateful for." So their excitement and their gratitude now made me grateful. I was like, "Oh Father, thank you. I do not take this testimony for granted." And I just wanted to say a quick prayer. The same way God shocked me, like I wasn't expecting it. I didn't even think about it. After trying so hard for quite a period of time, I pray that that same grace comes on everyone trusting God for a fruit of the moon. Like God's gonna do it in such a way that you are going to be shocked and perplexed, and you'll be like, "Wait, what? How did this happen?" I pray that that's your testimony and the testimony of anyone that your loved one or anyone that trusts God for this. So yes, guys, that's how I found out I was pregnant. You get it? It's a mommy again. Mom of two, under two. That's the story. Yeah. So, how did you find out you were pregnant? If you've been pregnant before, let me know your thoughts and your comments. I'll be reading. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Please subscribe. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. See you again.